got our box here. What I love about the maker box is that it comes in this box, and so when you're at home, you can open it up, put it right on your table, just take the box completely apart, and it gives you the surface to paint on. You have everything you need right there to complete it. The only things you're going to need in addition to it usually would be like some basic things. Like I always have a pair of scissors with me. And then tweezers are always a good thing, especially if we have stencil projects or just for picking up little pieces when you're gluing. I like that. But for us today, because we're here in the shop painting, I'm just going to put the projects to the side. And we've got brown paper down here on the table, so I'm just going to move this off to the side and paint. So we are going to start with our Sign of the Month project. So Sign of the Month is its own level for MakerBox. It's also part of our Combo Club, which for Combo Club, you're going to get Sign of the Month and the MakerBox project, okay? And then, so you can do Sign of the Month, you can do MakerBox, or you can do the combo and get the two. And then our next level is the Gotta Have It, and that is our little surprise project for this, this time. So we're going to start with Sign of the Month though. So this is a little layered laser project. Sometimes it might help if you have some blue painter's tape to kind of put down to stick your pieces together too. And that also helps. So everything comes separated, as you can see. Even our little flower stems here are separate. So everything gets painted separate. So it's a real quick project to put together and paint. This time we've got some pretty blue background for your sky, and of course your little black for your baby. It's a real pretty, very springy. Get you in the mode for spring. Open our little supply kit here and get all of our sponges and everything out. That's the great thing about this box, is that you get everything you need right inside there to complete it. It's an easy go-to craft. We're going to start with our background. So in our studio, we have two rules. Number one is have fun. And number two is that a little bit of paint goes a long way. And we do painting with sponges here. So we're going to dip our sponge in there. We're going to scrape off most of that paint. This big sponge is what you're going to use for your background. So think of big areas, bigger sponge. And we're just going to go back and forth, spreading that paint out until it's not shiny anymore. We want to get nice, good, thin coats on there. And this paint, like I said, will go a long way. So you just keep spreading until it doesn't want to spread anymore. So I've dipped my paint twice, my little sponge twice, and I've gotten halfway already. So the idea here is that you want to paint multiple thin coats on your project. That's going to give you a really good finish. It's not going to make your paint stick up and be bulky anywhere, and it's going to help it dry a lot faster, because we don't want to sit here and watch paint dry, because that is boring. So I'm going to get all the way across. Usually by the time you finish one side, the first side is going to be dry and ready for your second coat. So I started here, went across, now I'm ready to go back. I'm going to do two coats on this. A lot of times you can get by with one coat. It depends on the color and the coverage that you want. So if you're doing your multiple coats, thin coats, you should be good. In between, if it's not quite dry enough, you can always hit it with a hairdryer and dry it. We are almost done here with our background for our sign. I also recommend, if you're going to set this out somewhere, you might want to paint the back of your project. I do a lot of things on my kitchen island, which is, you know, you can walk all the way around so you see it from both sides. So I do paint a lot of my signs on the back also. If you know you're going to hang it on the wall, you don't have to do it. You're going to put it out in an outdoor area. It's always good to give that protection on the back side. So there is our back all done and painted. Just put that to the side. And then this little frame has our daisies on it. You see the centers? We're going to paint this all white because we have the centers separately. So we're going to paint the centers separate as a yellow. And it's a completely different layer. We're going to switch now to our white sponge. So this is like a little white makeup sponge. So we're going to hold at the little tiny part up here, and then we're going to dip this bigger end into our paint. So basically you just want to touch your paint, scrape off the excess, and then start hopping on your project. It's almost, we call these with our little kids our bunny sponges, and we do a hopping motion. Just hop right all over your project. White does require multiple coats. This is the one that you're going to be like, oh, how many times am I going to paint this? I usually do 3 coats when I do white. So keep that in mind. That's just normal. Just got a little bit farther to go. I am so excited for some warmer weather to be coming in springtime. I'm all in that springtime mode. So it's great when you get to see all the projects coming out, and just gets you more in the mood for spring to come. Get rid of the winter blahs. We don't have it too bad here in Florida, but you know, never hurts to go into the next season. We have been busy here in our shop too. We're getting ready for springtime events coming up and getting ready to launch a bunch of new projects. So definitely be keeping an eye out on the website for all the new things that are coming out. So many cute new designs. I mean, it's every time I see something, I'm like, ooh, I want that one. No, I want that one. So you're definitely going to want to keep an eye out. Isn't that right, Christine?
It is.
Lots of things. We've got some other people in here painting today too. It's been busy. We're starting to do more featured workshops too in the shop. So if you're local and want to sign up for some of those, I definitely will be watching the website. We've got lots of cool featured workshops coming up. Some epoxy ones, some solar flower workshops, just special designs coming out. We're very excited about all the new things we've got going on. Okay, so we're almost done with the first coat of this. And so to give this a little bit of time to dry, even though it's probably almost dry, I've got other pieces, so I'm just going to move on over and paint my other pieces. So I'm going to paint the back of my bee, because your bee is going to be 2 layers also. So you've got the back piece and then the top layer piece that's got all the design. So the back's going to be yellow, the top's black. You know, if you want a purple bee, you go for it. I'm a traditional girl though, so we're going to paint it yellow today. So it's good to batch paint and paint everything that's like one color at the same time so that you can knock it out. If you're like me and always have something going on, it's one thing that's great about our projects is they can be quick and you can get them done, or you can sit there and add a bunch of details. Like I'm always amazed at some of the details that people add when they're here in the shop painting. It's like, wow, look at that. So you can keep it simple and just as we are designing it, or you can go in and add little details and lines and dots and switch up your colors. Always something else to do with it. So we got our yellow done here, and yellow covered really good. I don't even think I'm going to have to do a second coat on it. So that's real good. Then we're going to move on to our words and the top part of our bee. That's going to be in black. I'm still using the same method of dipping, scraping off the excess, and then hopping on my project. We also have, if you're local, we have our Crafty Ladies. Crafty Ladies meet on Thursday night and Friday morning, and that's the first Thursday and Friday of the month. So you can either do Thursday night or Friday morning, whatever works better for your schedule. And usually they sign up for the year. And what I love about Crafty Ladies is the relationships that they're building with each other. They have so much fun when they come in, and we always look forward to seeing them every month. And we're lucky because most of them come in and join us for other projects too through the month. So we just really get to know them. They get to know each other. They're having lunch dates outside and everything. And we've actually got a group of them that are now doing Maker Box together. So they're doing Maker Box, and they're gonna come in the studio and paint their Maker Box in the studio, which you guys are always welcome to do that. You can bring it in during any open paint time. And that is Tuesday through Saturday from noon to 3 if you show up. You can just sit down and paint. And the great thing about your Maker Box is you just sit down and go. There's always somebody here working, painting, doing something. So you also can come in the evenings. We just ask if you wanted to come during one of our evening times that you let us know about that, so we make sure to save you a seat, just because that's when most of our workshops are. So we have a little less available space in the studio sometimes. Now I'm going to go back and do this coat on my white again. The black and the yellow were just one coat, so that was really fast. You'll see how quickly one of these designs goes together. We also do have the level that if you're thinking about this, but you're like, I don't have time to paint that, but I'd love to get the projects every month. We do also have a finished selection for our Gotta Have box, so you could get it as finished and get all the projects painted by us to your door ready to display. So that's always fun because it's always seasonal. Then sometimes we'll do things for the home, but if it's around a holiday, our boxes come out in January, March, May, July, September, and November. So you can kind of see where they would follow along with holidays. And get those items. And I think we're going to get lucky with this one and do 2 coats. So this sign of the month this time is can be used multiple ways. So if you have one of our door hangers that has the insert for a swappable, it's like a 10-inch swappable round, this will pop right in there for you. You can also set this on like an easel. You could use command strips and hang it on the wall, or you could just make it as a little shelf leaner, like lean it up against something. So this has a lot of variety, especially being the round. So that's why we like this. I think we did this shape last month also. So so now you've got 2 more. And if you are a Maker Box member and you don't have the door hanger that has the swappable center, will be the time to get it, because you can just swap this in and out. Okay, so that is all done and dried too. So we got pretty good coat there. So next thing to do is just put it all together. So that is easy. That was very fast painting today. So you do have your wood glue in there. You're just going to pop open one of your little wood glues, and you have these little touch-up brushes. We use these for our glue and for touching up paint. So this is real good. I'm going to start with my bee while my white layer still continues to dry here. I'm just going to add some glue on here. You don't have to cover every little piece of it. Just add it where you need to, the bigger areas, just to get it to stick together. It's always good once you get this down on here to go ahead and just go on the table one time, like tap it to the table to get off any excess so that it's not oozing all out over your project. It just makes it look a little messier. So there we go. Got that. I'm just going to go up here on my paper, tap off any excess, and then stick it right to the top of my bee here. And that'll be good. By now, this is already dry. That's how fast, when you do those thin coats of paint, it dries pretty darn fast. I'm going to focus here on the centers of these flowers because it's a nice big area. Touch each little petal. Don't have to cover the entire thing with glue. This wood glue holds very well. And then I'm going to kind of cheat on this outside edge and use my finger just because it's all the way around. So sometimes I'll dump out my glue right on the table because it's easier to pick up. So I'm just going to take my finger and go on this outside edge really quick. That helps me make a layer not too thick too. You can use the brush if you don't want the glue on your finger, just use the brush and keep going around like we did before. I just find this is a little bit quicker, and nobody wants to sit here and watch me glue things together because that's boring. There you go, and then you can take that whole piece, tap it down to get off any excess, and then right onto your project. So this is inset a little bit from the center. Okay. I don't know if you can see that there. Got out of your viewing area. If this is popped up a little bit, you can always use a heavy book or something to set on top of it to get your layers. And I got to clean this finger off with this glue. If I had used the paintbrush, I wouldn't have to do that, but it's okay. A little bit there. Okay. And that layer is done. Now we got the centers of our flowers to put on. It's just a little bit of glue right there in the middle. Big center. Little center. And then you can put your hello and your little bee wherever you want. We've got the bee flying onto one of the little flowers. The only thing I would say about that is you don't really want the legs of your bee to overlap on that flower because they might break off. So just kind of, you could have your bee like rested right up against your flower. That's really cute. Like he's ready to pollinate that flower. Get the rest of this glue out. So I've been able to get this whole project done with one of these little glue pots. And you don't have to go do all the little antennas and glue all that down. Just get the glue on that main body part. And I'm going to put him right up against that flower. He's getting ready to land there. And then hello, and we are done with sign of the month. They're getting ready for our art club out in the other room. So if you've got children that want to have something to do during the week, that means on Thursday afternoons, you can sign up for a month at a time. And they do all kinds of different projects with that. Lots of fun things. Today they are doing a canvas painting that Maddie's teaching. She was amazing at that. So there is our little bee project all finished up. Very simple. Thanks for joining me.